whatever. Hey everyone, it's Hillary. I felt like this shirt was appropriate for my first video back because not only are we in full Christmas mode, we're in full baby mode too. If you guys haven't seen our video on where we've been, I'll link that in the eye and down below for you. I have a super simple, cute and easy DIY ornament for you guys. You're gonna love it. So while you're watching, if you like it, give it a thumbs up and don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Let's get started. Here's the supplies you're gonna need for this project. First, I picked up these on Amazon. They are just natural wood slices with the hole already pre-drilled. Some of your favorite family photos in black and white or color. I chose to go black and white. Foam brush, white craft paint, matte Mod Podge, sandpaper or sanding block, ribbon in any color, needle and fishing line, and wood beads. All of the things for this project will be linked in the description box below. Okay, so the first step is just taking whatever picture you picked out and your wood slice. These are all kind of different sizes, so you're gonna have to measure each individual wood slice with each picture. So I took my wood slice, I just placed it over the top of my picture, and then used my pen to trace around it. This is just gonna give me a rough idea of where to cut. You're obviously gonna wanna cut a little bit further inside your line, because I've traced my circle and I want to leave some raw edge exposed. So I'm going to go quite a bit further in from what I actually traced. Okay, so I've taken some of my pictures and I have traced them and cut them out to fit my wood slices. You can see that they're not exactly perfect. There's some more wood exposed on one side more than another. That's totally fine. These don't need to be perfect. The next step is just taking your white craft paint and your sponge brush. You don't need a lot of craft paint for this. I just took a little bit, squirted it onto my sponge, and then you're just gonna paint around the outside edge. So here it is. You can see I've just painted around the edge. Now I'm gonna take my sanding block and just sand over the top of it to give it a little bit of a rustic worn look. You can sand off as much or as little as you want on this really. So my next step now is just gonna be taking my foam brush and my Mod Podge, and I'm just gonna be Mod Podging. How many of you guys ever call this Mod Podge? That is literally what I thought this was called, Mod Podge. It's Mod Podge. Say that 10 times. Mod Podge, Mod Podge, Mod Podge, Mod Podge, Mod Podge, Mod. Okay, so I did a pretty thick layer on the ornament itself, then placed my picture over the top. Make sure you're lining your picture up with where your hole is drilled. Think about where this is going to be hanging from. So I'm going to line my picture up with where my hole is at. Give it a good press. And then you're just going to add another pretty good layer of Mod Podge across the top, making sure you're getting your sides really good so your picture doesn't pop up. Okay, and that's it. Now I'm just going to do the same thing to my other ornaments. While those are drying, I'm going to make my bows for my ornaments. So I'm just going to tie it into a regular bow, making sure it's pretty on the front. This was probably the most time-consuming part, making my bows. So there we go.
Help yourself. You're gonna be an elf. You got it, man.
DIYing with Gray.
How does your cheeks not hurt? How do you do it?
Okay, so now that it's dry, my picture's dried on here with my Mod Podge. Now I'm gonna poke a hole with my needle. So what I did is I just laid my ornament down on flat on the table and went through the hole in the back that's already drilled and just poked through just a little bit, made a mark. Then flipped it around, went to the front, found my little tiny mark I made, and then went all the way through. So then I take my needle and my fishing line and I just go straight through, tie a knot, So I threaded my fishing line through my needle and then took my bow that I made. Flip your bow over to the part that's going to be in the front, which is this part. And then I just strung through the back of the knot. So I took one piece of fishing line and I'm going to string it through this way. And then I'm going to take this other piece of fishing line and string it the opposite direction. And then pull it tight and tie a knot. So I've got my bow attached and now I'm just going to add my beads. So this is what we're looking like. So I'm just going to tie a knot at the top to create a loop to hang on my tree. Trim my excess, and there you go. Okay, so here they are up on my tree. I love how these turned out. These are such a sentimental ornament. I love that these have my family pictures on them. I think the cool thing about this is I'm going to add new ornaments to my tree every year with different pictures from throughout the year.